The WNBA just got caught in one of the biggest scandals in modern sports, and this time, not even ESPN can spin the story. For months, the network proudly declared that the league was thriving, that viewership was up, that the game had never been stronger. But now the truth has leaked, and it's ugly. Behind all the glowing headlines and handpicked statistics lies a collapse so severe it's threatening to unravel the league's credibility from the inside out. The moment Caitlin Clark stepped away, the WNBA's ratings didn't just dip, they imploded. Over 1 million viewers vanished in a single season, leaving ESPN scrambling to bury the numbers and the league praying fans wouldn't notice. But fans did notice, and what's being uncovered about how ESPN manipulated the data might go down as one of the most shameless cover-ups in sports media history. Game 1 started somewhat strong at 1.9 million viewers, but the magic disappeared almost overnight. Game 2 plummeted to 1.2 million. By Game 3, it was 1.3 million, and the final game barely limped to 1.44 million. Compare that to 2024, when Clark's fever helped the league climb each night, from 1.1 million in Game 1 to a record-breaking 2.2 million by Game 5. That's what momentum looks like. That's what star power does. But without Caitlin, fans turned off their TVs and ESPN turned off the truth. The network's manipulation was almost cartoonish in its audacity. Instead of acknowledging the free fall, ESPN cherry-picked the data, promoting opening night numbers while ignoring subsequent drops. They compared 2025 to pre-Clark seasons like 2023 to manufacture a fake sense of growth. They even changed how ratings were calculated, suddenly including smart TV data, out-of-home viewings, and bar streams to inflate totals. Sports Media Watch quickly called them out, warning fans that the so-called 5% growth was meaningless. If the same system had been used in 2024, the true average would have soared past 2 million. But ESPN didn't care about accuracy, only they cared about optics. They weren't reporting the news. They were running damage control for a collapsing brand. It's no coincidence this cover-up began right after Caitlin's injury earlier this year. When she went down with an ankle sprain and missed several games, the WNBA entered panic mode. The network doubled down on promoting A'ja Wilson as the new face of the league. They aired glossy documentaries, gave her primetime slots, and flooded social media with highlights. Yet no matter how hard they tried, the audience wasn't buying it. The viewers who came for Caitlin weren't WNBA loyalists, they were Caitlin loyalists. They tuned in for her energy, her story, her impact. Without her, the product felt hollow. Meanwhile, Indiana didn't fade into irrelevance. Even as Clark battled her injury, her teammate Aaliyah Boston dominated, and Kelsey Mitchell emerged as a star. The Fever remained competitive, especially after Sophie Cunningham joined the roster. But the league's broadcast numbers told the real story. It didn't matter how well the team played. Without Caitlin on the floor, casual fans had no reason to care. And that's the part ESPN and the league desperately wanted to hide. Behind the scenes, the deception got worse. Independent analysts who'd tracked ratings for years suddenly found themselves shut out. ESPN stopped releasing raw data to outlets like Sports Media Watch and TV Ratings Guy. Everything went through corporate PR first. Reports were delayed, edited, rewritten, or conveniently lost. Numbers that didn't fit the narrative were buried. What used to be transparent reporting had turned into propaganda, designed to maintain the illusion that the WNBA's momentum hadn't evaporated the second Caitlin Clark stepped off the court. But reality has a way of catching up. The playoffs leading up to the finals were even more disastrous. Games without Clark or the Fever struggled to crack 900,000 viewers. Some barely hit 600,000. That's not just regression, that's erasure. The same arenas that sold out last season now had entire sections empty. Merch sales collapsed. Social media engagement dropped nearly 70%. Even ESPN's own promotional posts couldn't gain traction. The hype was gone. The fans were gone. The magic was gone, advertisers noticed too. Major sponsors who had signed multi-million-dollar deals in 2024, expecting sustained growth, began quietly questioning their investments. Some demanded exit clauses. Others pushed ESPN for make-goods, free ad spots to compensate for the lower-than-promised viewership. Even executives inside the network started to panic. They had spent the past 2 years promoting Caitlin Clark as the golden goose of women's basketball, while simultaneously trying to convince the public she wasn't essential. Now the numbers proved she was everything. What's even more damning is how ESPN treated the situation publicly. When NFL or NBA ratings drop by a few percentage points, the network analyzes it in detail. Endless talk segments, think pieces, debates. But when the WNBA's viewership fell off a cliff, silence. They buried it under layers of corporate spin. Press releases talked about strong engagement across digital platforms instead of TV viewership. They focused on percentage growth instead of raw numbers. It was a masterclass in selective reporting, and fans saw through it. The deeper you look, the worse it gets. Last year's finals peaked at 3.3 million viewers. This year, even with the enhanced tracking system, the WNBA couldn't touch 2.5 million. That means over 1 million fans who tuned in for Caitlyn's games last year simply vanished. Those weren't fair-weather fans. They were the ones who made women's basketball mainstream again. Now they've walked away, waiting for the player who made them care to come back. The tragedy is that it didn't have to be this way. If the WNBA had embraced Clark instead of resenting her, protected her from unnecessary physical play, and marketed her properly, they could have converted her new audience into lifelong fans of the sport. Instead, jealousy and ego took over. Veteran players dismissed her impact. Analysts downplayed her influence. The league acted like acknowledging her importance would somehow diminish everyone else. And now, the evidence is staring them in the face. The WNBA without Caitlin Clark is a shell of itself. Internationally, the fallout is even more devastating. During 2024, viewers across Europe, Asia, and Australia stayed up at odd hours just to watch Clark play. This year, those numbers have evaporated. The global buzz is gone. The WNBA has reverted to being a domestic curiosity instead of a worldwide phenomenon. And yet, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert still insists that the league is stronger than ever. It's delusion disguised as optimism. The demographic data that ESPN refuses to publish is the final smoking gun. Insiders say the crucial 18 to 34 age group, the same audience that advertisers crave, has nearly disappeared since Clark's absence. Without her, the WNBA's viewership skews older and smaller, reverting to its pre-2024 base of longtime fans. That's not progress. That's regression. And it's happening in real time while the league tries to spin it as stability. Every Caitlin Clark practice clip now gets millions of views online. Every rehab update trends on social media. Her presence, even when she's sidelined, generates more buzz than entire playoff series. That's not just popularity, that's influence. And ESPN knows it. Every injury update becomes breaking news because she's the only player who moves the needle. Without her, even the league's most competitive games feel invisible. So here's the truth ESPN won't admit. The WNBA's so-called success story has been built on a single player. They marketed her when it suited them, undermined her when it didn't, and now that she's temporarily gone, they're paying the price. The league without Caitlin Clark isn't just struggling, it's collapsing under the weight of its own denial. The 2025 finals didn't mark another milestone for women's basketball. They marked the moment the illusion ended. Because at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark doesn't just represent the WNBA's success. She is its heartbeat, its ratings, its relevance. Without her, the numbers speak louder than any press release ever could. So what do you think? Can the WNBA survive without Caitlin Clark, or has ESPN's cover-up only delayed the inevitable? Was this season proof that the league built its foundation on one superstar it didn't appreciate until it was too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the truth about this rating scandal is just beginning to unravel, and trust us, what comes next will change everything you thought you knew about women's basketball.